Hey, welcome to Small Farm Living. My name's Julie, and today we're just going to get right into craft number one. Now, this first piece, I found this at my local thrift store, and they had it in the 25-cent bin. They had crossed out that price tag there, and I thought it was super cute. And then I found this piece at the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to take the hanger tag off. And then this paper, it is so gorgeous. It was my grandmother's. She's been gone for over 20 years, and I've just been saving this, and today's the day I'm going to use it. So this flimsy little piece of paper that was already on this heart, I'm just going to pull this off, and then I'm going to take my little mini micro sander and I am going to remove the pieces of paper that were left on here. And if you're interested in this little sander, it has a whole bunch of different grits that you can swap out. I have an affiliate link down in the description for you to take a look at. But you can see I have it all sanded. There's a little bit of dust, so I'm just going to take a damp paper towel and I'm going to clean the face of it all off, so we're good to go. Now that we got that done, I'm just going to take some Mod Podge, pour some on there, and I am just going to slather the whole top of this piece, making sure I get it into all the corners and all the edges. And this is the easiest way I could find to do it with my little spongy brush. Now that I've got it all done, what I'm going to do is any that got onto the edges when I was smearing, as you can see there was a little bit here, I'm just going to wipe that off with a damp paper towel all around the whole thing. And now I'm going to take my paper and I'm just going to line it up with my piece of wood, making sure that I have enough. It was really close, but I was able to do it. Now I'm just going to take my pen and I'm going to trace all the way around the edges, and my tracing line is a little bit larger. Now I'm going to do the lefty-loosey, and I'm going to take the little top off of there and lay it back down because that was stopping me from getting, a good trace up where that little piece was. So I'm just going to trace the top there. Going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to proceed to cut around the edges, and I always cut a little bit outside of the pin mark versus on the inside because I actually want a little bit of overhang from the paper. So now we're down to the bottom of the heart, getting that all cut out. And of course, true crafter's fashion, I am saving these little scraps for another project because I love them so much. Now I'm just making sure that I have this centered so that I have overhang on all of the edges before I activate my Mod Podge. Now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and this little mini iron, which is so much fun. I just love this little thing. And I will also have a link down in the description for this as well. Both of them are very cheap. The sander's like, I don't know, $6 maybe, and this little iron is just under $9, I think. So very affordable little tools for crafting if you like to do this kind of thing. And I'm just making sure that I'm getting some good heat so that it reactivates the Mod Podge and it makes the paper stick instead of doing Mod Podge paper and then Mod Podge over the top. This was just kind of a quicker way for me and not having that paper be all damp on the top. Now that I have it all ironed on there, I'm going to take my little sander again, and in a downward motion, I'm just going to rub the excess off of the edges. And if you've never done this before, I am telling you, it gives you the most perfect edge to your piece of paper on your project. It's like it was custom made on there or factory put on. I love it that much. So we're just going to work our way around the whole heart. And now that we have that all done, I am going to take off this little hanging piece on the back, and I am going to save it. I took off this little, I've never even seen a little protective cover on the back of those at the Dollar Tree before, but I was trying to get the sticky off. It didn't all come off, but I was like, oh, whatever. And I just grabbed my scissors and very gently stuck it underneath there, and it popped right out. I'm sure this is just a little press board heart, so nothing stuck to it. Very good. So I will just set that aside for another project, and I'm going to set this on top of here just to make sure I like how the placement is going to be. And I'm taking it back off because I'm going to take some of this antique Waverly wax, and I am just going to get a little bit at a time on my paintbrush and just kind of scrub it down in between all of these little bumps on this heart. Now I do like this heart white like it is, but I have a couple of them in my stash, and for this project, with kind of the romantic-y look of those roses on the paper, I just kind of wanted this to be a little bit, I don't know, not really rustic, but just kind of a deeper mauve tone, I guess, or deeper deeper mood. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, a deeper mood. So I'm wiping off some of the excess with a baby wipe, just because I don't want it to be super, super dark. I want it to still have a little bit of that lightness coming through on it. And I'm going to continue doing that throughout the whole inside of the heart, and then the outside of the heart as well. And then going back and just scrubbing some more of this in between all of the bumps. I didn't finish it. I moved on to the edges first. And again, same process. I'm just going to wipe off the excess with a baby wipe. And I'm finishing up over here on this side. And now I have all of that done. So the next step, now that we've got that done, is to turn it over. And we are going to glue this to the front of the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate with this tacky glue and some hot glue. So that's why I'm leaving spaces in between there. And then I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to rub the glue all over in the spaces that is. And then I'm going to take the hot glue and very quickly, because it dries so fast, get the hot glue in the other sections there. Try to pull off some of those strings real quick so they're not in my way. And then I'm just going to press this down onto the top of the paper. And I'm already loving the way this looks, but we have a couple more steps, but they'll go really quick. I'm going to take some of my Waverly Antique Wax again, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my paper towel. And what I want to do is kind of soften the edges so that it matches like that moody feel of the heart in the center. And you can see it's really dark there, but I just go back and wipe it off, and it just gives a very faint, almost antiqued brushed look to that paper. And I'm going to just finish it up here on the other side so that we have our heart complete. Give you a little closer look there. And now that I have that done, I decided that I was going to take a little bit of my antique rub and buff and put a little bit on my finger, and I'm going to rub that over top of that antique wax that we just did. And I'm putting as light of layer as I possibly can and just doing a light finger touch. Can you see that shimmer there? I just think it adds just prettiness. I don't even know what other word. It's just pretty. I'm not a huge gold person. This year for Christmas and now for Valentine's Day, I'm liking gold, but I really kind of like the antique gold and just a little touch of it, not overdone. And I'm rubbing it all over the heart as well. Again, just to give a little cohesiveness to the piece. And then I thought I would just add the slightest little piece of, or the slightest little dab all around the outside of the edge of this heart. And of course, a little bit on the inside. And then when I sat down and looked at it, I thought, you know, it really needs a little bit in the center too on the paper, just because we have additional color everywhere else. Now I'm just putting a little bit on the hook, and I really love this hook. I think this whole piece probably was from 70s, early 80s. And I don't know, I haven't even been able to find little hangers like this anymore, but I'm putting some on and rubbing it off so a lot of that deeper tone still shows through. Now we're going to do the righty-tighty, and we're going to get this screwed back on there so it's ready to hang on the wall. And here is what it looks like. And now let me show it to you on the wall. Now I just think this is so sweet. And again, because this was my grandmother's paper, it just has extra special meaning to me. But I really love this piece. It kind of has that vintage Victorian vibe to me. But now let's go on to craft number 2, which also has a little bit of a Victorian flair to it. This is a frame that also was in that 25-cent bin. I was having a heyday the day that I found this. I found a bunch of other pieces as well that you'll see in next coming up videos. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back out of this, because this piece had obviously been sitting for a while and the glass was incredibly dusty. And as I lift it up, if you can see it, you can see like dust marks and the cross marks. And so I'm just going to spray a little bit of glass cleaner on there and wipe it off. And you can see just some of the dirt that was on there. It was pretty dirty. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put the glass back inside of it. And now I want to show you these sweet little cards that I found. I got these on Temu, and they're really good, heavy-duty, thick cards. I mean, they're not like greeting cards where they open. They're just a single sheet, but they call them cards. And these are the 4 designs, the first ones that I'm showing you that I'm going to use in the picture frame. But I just want to show you they have people, birds, and this set, I think there was 20 designs that came in it. And then it also has bunnies, little kids, and at the back there was a couple of puppies. But we'll just set those aside because we're going to use these for now. And I did struggle with this part of it for a little bit because my initial thought was it looked like they fit perfectly in these squares, and I was just going to put the double-sided tape down and then set the back on it, and it was going to be perfect. But when I did that, I could see space, so I ended up putting these all on a piece of black cardstock at the end, and then putting the back on after that so that you couldn't see any of that tan backing color through it. And this is what it looked like when I was done. And I just like the simplicity and the elegantness of it. It just is very Victorian to me. So now that I've shown you the 2 crafts that we've made today, I'm just going to quickly show you some of the decor that I have on my mantle. I went a little light on decorating this year just because I have a lot of other things going on. And if you are new to my channel, I also do gardening videos, and I have one of those coming up. I'll be showing some seeds that sprouted that we planted last week. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. And if you are subscribed, just watch for that video. And these little hearts that are hanging on my mantle, this was actually a quilt that had some holes in it that I found at the thrift store, and I just recreated these into precious little hearts to hang on my mantle. So that's all I have for you this week. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Again, watch for my next video, and I'll see you next time.